The Edinburgh Festival this week was the screening of a new British feature film, Company of Wolves. For Steve Woolley and his company Palace, it marks an important debut as producers after a very successful couple of years as film and video distributors. Woolley has made it to the top after starting 10 years ago as a part-time usher at his local cinema, then called the Rex, now better known as Islington's Screen on the Green.
The first couple of months I worked there was fantastic because it meant that I went from 2 nights to 3 to 4, and I remember when I first went, they had a really bad staff problem. They asked me to stay all week. And the double bill was Dillinger and Bonnie and Clyde. And I saw Dillinger every single night, and it was amazing. it was like seventh heaven for me. I mean, Dillinger is John Milius' first movie, and it's a really good film. It's beautifully shot and looks incredible. And now I thought, well, this is it, you know, why do anything else? I should be an usher the rest of my life.
Woolley's influence really began when he programmed films for the Scala Cinema, striking up a partnership with Nick Powell, formerly of Virgin.
I programmed it very successfully for a year and a half. With a woman called Jane Pilling, who is now at the BFI. And we, together, bought, because she was also fanatical about cinema, we together bought a very wide sort of range of films under a rep banner. And we modelled it really on the American repertory cinemas with a colourful programme. And we had a bar there which had a great jukebox. And we wanted people to drop by, not only to see films, but to meet friends. And it became phenomenally successful. And we turned the corner from being a big loss-making thing into a profit-making. And that's where obviously Nick and I hit it off, because Nick at Virgin had done a lot of things like that with things like Tubular Bells in the first days of Virgin.
Steve has seemed to have a love for all the great examples of films from different genres, and I think that the course that Palace has taken since very much reflects that. We have a very wide range of very different films which have been successful on their own terms.
The chemistry of Powell and Woolley proved instantly successful with the French film Diva, which many distributors dismissed as uncommercial, but it's become one of the great cult movies of the 80s. Diva was followed by the more controversial Evil Dead, and more recently, Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, starring David Bowie.
What we've always presented through Diva, through Evil Dead, through Merry Christmas, when we did those deals, is an element of enthusiasm coupled with business sense. So people have always treated me suspiciously because I look a bit strange, perhaps. But what that's done when I've turned that around and said, look, I know about distribution in the UK, I know how to handle this film, I know which cinemas it should open in, we know how we can cover ourselves with a release on video, and we love this film. People suddenly, they warm to you.
Despite the problems Palace had in persuading the authorities not to ban Evil Dead as a video nasty, they've continued the theme of horror in their production of Company of Wolves, a collection of fairy stories, each underlying the female terror of wolves, symbolic of scavenging men. It was not an easy project for Steve Woolley and director Neil Jordan to sell.
The script that myself and Angela wrote was quite, it was not like anything else, really. I mean, it couldn't be defined. I couldn't say it was a horror film or a fairy tale or a period piece or anything like that. And when myself and Steve were bringing this script around, I mean, I suppose we both seemed as crazy as the script, really, you know, and Stephen has a tremendous amount of push, and he refuses to accept that something cannot be done if he wants to do it and he feels it should be done, you know, so.
I'm very nervous about it. I'm not sure that people will like it. We had a showreel that we showed in Cannes, which was incredibly successful. I mean, was phenomenally successful. We only showed 12 minutes, and people were saying, it's a great film, we've got a hit there, you know. But it's not the film, it's a showreel. I mean, I think people will have to see it to judge.
Company of Wolves opens at the Odeon Leicester Square on September the 21st, and the film industry will expect a lot of these young men who are bidding to inherit some of the glory generated in recent years by David Putnam and Richard